Hello, welcome to Patrice's Projects. Today what we're going to be doing is going over starting seedlings indoors. So if you've been following along with my videos, you know that we've already planted some peppers, tomatoes, tomatillos, strawberries, and a lot of other things. So I've got chives going on here, cucumber, kale. You can grow a lot of things indoors. But with your tomatoes and peppers and eggplants, you want to start them early so that you have a good sized plant, a good strong, healthy plant to put out in your garden once your last frost date is passed. So let's go over what you do once the seeds begin to sprout. I did a short little video, I just uploaded it recently, regarding the germination rates of different types of peppers and how they're going to differ some. Right now this is still sitting on top of my heating pad. It's not a true heating mat for growing, but this is an old heating pad, so it's got the type of lever switch to where the heating pad doesn't shut off after a set amount of time. So it works fine for me. And I have it on high because I'm using this tray between, and that takes up some of the heat. And I want my roots or my soil to be between 75 and 85 degrees. That's optimal for peppers and tomatoes and tomatillos. So my tomatillos have not yet sprouted, but those were just planted 3 days ago maybe. But my peppers are beginning to sprout. This particular variety, which is the Jimmy Nardello, both of those are sprouting. You can't really see this guy, but I can. And so I'm going to go ahead and keep that tray on the mat. Otherwise, once they begin to germinate, you remove them and then you just keep them under your lights or in a very sunny window. And you really want a very sunny window. And we also planted some onions. These are candy onions, and I got these in the seed swap. And I think I planted 4 per cell. And you can see I'm having fantastic germination rate. They're still popping up. So when I initially planted these, however, I had a cover on it because these are little germination trays that I had gotten on Amazon, and I'll try to remember to post a link. This is one with the top still on it, and I keep the trays on top of my light because there's warmth up there too. And with these seeds, you don't need to keep them warm constantly. So I figured during the day, they're going to be up on the lights, and that'll give them plenty of heat. And I run my lights 13 hours. In this tray, I have no germination. I'm going to keep the dome on there until I see at least one sprout in almost every one of those cells. Because if you keep the humidity dome on too long, see how wet that is? I try to remember to because I like to keep these in the sun as well, that helps them to germinate. I like to shake the water off of these a couple of times a day so that it's not sunny out right now, but so that the sun can get through that, and then I'll pour the water back in. And if you feel that the soil is just getting a little bit dry, you can go ahead and sprinkle a little bit more on there, because as you see right here, the water does come down the sides and start dripping off of there. So you want to make sure that it's not on any piece of furniture that you treasure either. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back up. Wow. Go ahead and put that back up on the light. And here, this is the Kelsey onions. And I noticed yesterday that I had 2 germinate. And today, I see 1 in almost every one of the cells. So it's time to remove the cover, because too much humidity and your plants are going to rot. So once they begin to germinate like this, you want to make sure that all of your plants get under nice bright lights or bright sunshine. And lights are better because at this time of year, we don't have enough hours of bright sunshine in a window for these to become really strong plants. So these ones here, I had taken the cover off yesterday, and they're still germinating more, so it's not going to stop them from germinating by removing the cover. Just make sure your soil stays lightly moist. You don't want it soggy. And then once all are germinated, then you want to water them well, not soak them, but water them decently, and then let the soil begin to dry out a little bit, because you don't want fungus in there, which draws fungus gnats, and it also is just not good for the plant. One thing that I've done in the past, and that works very well, many people do it, if you don't have a humidity dome, and there are humidity domes for those long 10 by 20 trays, the germination trays that like that. There are domes that cover those, but they're kind of pricey. I think the cheapest one I saw for the dome itself was like $7, and I think I had a couple dollars shipping. So what you can do is you can take a piece of plastic wrap or a baggie, cover the top over, and once it begins to germinate, you just remove it. So that way you don't have to water as often, but humidity domes and covers are not really necessary. All that's necessary is for the soil surface, you know, where the seeds are up there, to stay evenly moist. And my little spray bottle, I just poked holes with a large needle in the top of this. I need to clear the holes because I have very hard water and calcium is plugging most of the holes. But this is great for just moistening the surface of the soil, and that way the seeds can germinate well. And it doesn't take much effort at all. I find that I am probably moistening the soil once a day because I keep my plants or my trays so close to the lights. And there's 4 bulbs up there, T5 bulbs, and that also, that and the heating mat underneath will help to dry the soil faster, so you're going to have to keep a closer eye on it. But, you know, if you don't want to water every single day, put the cellophane over the top. The ways that I just showed you of germinating seeds are the ones that I've tried. They're ones that work for me. There's also a way that I've tried in the past that works for many people very well. They use that method primarily for starting seeds like peppers and tomatoes and things like that. And that's to put the seeds in a moist paper towel in a baggie and put it on a heat mat. That does work, but I am always concerned about the roots embedding into the paper towel too much, possibly damaging them, maybe not noticing when they germinate, and the seedling will not be as strong if it doesn't hit light right away. So for me, that doesn't work as well. For other people, that works fantastic. You might want to give it a shot. It's a way, if you haven't tried it, it's a new way of doing it. Try different things. See what works for you. Those are the things that work for me. And I do like to look at my plants every day. Watering every single day, yeah, sprinkling the top is no big deal for me. If it is for you, try something different. Cover them over with plastic, or get the humidity dome for the whole tray. Do it all at once. And, you know, just make sure to keep an eye on the soil, just to make sure the surface is moist and that the tray or the container isn't too light. If it's too light, you have to give it an actual watering. Thank you for joining me here in the garden room. I do appreciate it. If you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and do that now, and then click the bell so you get notifications of my upcoming videos so that you can follow along with the progress in here and out in the garden. And I'm going to try and get some videos up on jewelry making and cooking, which I really enjoy doing. I will talk to you soon. I'll see you next time. Bye.